Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Rhett. I got a video today from Jesus is Judging You.
Peace be with you, especially if your relationship is hanging on by a group chat and shared rent. Today,
How many people's relationship are still together because of shared rent?
I'm reacting to an interview with a seasoned divorce lawyer who has seen it all. The lies, the leverage, and the receipts. We're talking real talk on modern marriages collapsing faster than TikTok trends and how to protect your heart and your assets. So stick around because this isn't legal advice, it's biblical damage control. And if they won't sign the prenup, you should.
You know, like he reminds me of Destro. Obviously, it's just except like, he's not using a voice changer or anything, but his wordplay is very similar to Destro to me.
Run the other direction because chances are she's not the one. She's Satan in a Sunday hat.
What's your age?
32.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
90%.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Pretty
a lot of
much.
it is that they're getting with their girlfriends, they're angry, they just get frustrated.
They get the confirmation bias from their from their friends.
And they have a lot of people in their ears, and I think they just want to, when they're done, they're done.
But surely, as a woman, you shouldn't tolerate any and everything in a relationship.
Definitely not at all, but I feel like things build up really easily with people, and they're talking about it more, where you're like pissed off and you get kind of over it quickly.
But how long have you been a divorce attorney?
Probably like since 2016 I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
So being that you've been in the field for 8+ years, do you think that marriage is outdated now?
I don't know about outdated, but
The laws are for sure.
it's more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because like we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo, so it's changed.
That depends on where you are. Maybe here in America,
True.
divorce is normal, but places in China, divorce rates are much lower. Same within Japan. It's also more socially acceptable sometimes in I think I know at least in Japan, for if a man is not satisfied in his marriage intimately, it's acceptable for him to go out and seek paid services to
I also have heard about this.
find intimacy if he's not being satisfied at home. And generally the spouse is happy with that decision because they just want their spouse to be happy in the end.
I mean,
Because, sometimes after a while, the spark dies. But interesting, 90% of divorces are filed by women, with other women talking in their ear, and probably a therapist calling the man a narcissist. Can almost guarantee.
Do you think that sexless
100%.
marriages can work?
No.
that was probably the first thing that came out of the therapist's mouth.
And 100% every single time, I mostly work for men, so every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years, I haven't had sex in 5 years, I haven't had sex in 15 years, and I'm like, here we go again, the sex talk every single time. So it's like, you need to make sure you're doing it like 3 to 4, I would say like 3. 2, sometimes you want to go like 2 times, 2 to 3, but it really should be like 4. 2 to 4 times is ideal.
So a lack of
Like a month, a week, a day? What are we talking about here? I mean, I could probably do the daily 2 times.
sex in these marriages is the most common theme that you're seeing when they end.
Yeah, because it's connected to more of that. It's not just physical. It's like, all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them, you're going to be irritated, and you're not going to be into them. So you're not going to be banging them.
So why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This is marriage is a breakup on steroids. Like if you're gonna get a divorce, it's
True.
not just like I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's like if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's like your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. Your family's affected, your life is affected.
And women, you make this decision unanimously at 90%.
Half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit
Must be California.
tougher than with just a simple breakup.
When a couple goes through a divorce, what's the process typically entail?
Someone has to file, first and foremost, someone's got to file. So you got to fill out the paperwork, file it with the court, and then you've got to serve someone, or they have to sign something saying they've gotten it. So either you have a random stranger who's hired by a service, or you have someone that you know go and hand them the paperwork, which is always awkward. Or you can tell them, hey, I'm going to divorce you, and you're going to sign this document saying you've received this, which is always awkward.
So wait, they don't send a sheriff out to serve them, or?
You can't, like some people will do that where you can get a constable, but it's not a sheriff. If there's a restraining order, you get a sheriff to do it.
Okay,
That's a whole nother.
so they sign that, then what happens?
Then they have in California, they've got 30 days to file a response. In Massachusetts, where I'm also barred, like they can just respond. So someone has to
Another
respond to
Bostoner.
it and say, all right, yeah, I want a divorce too, and this is what I want to do. And it's a simple paperwork.
Yeah, in California it's the 30 days. That
So
I do
party
know.
A agrees for the divorce, and so does party B. Does that mean that they're officially divorced and that's fun, or?
No, I wish. It'd make things a lot easier, but no, you've got to go through this whole rigmarole. All right, well, what do you have? Show me your paperwork for the past. Show me your bank accounts. Show me your credit card statements. Show me everything. I want to see what your financial assets are. So you got to break it down each person, which causes problems, right? Because
This is why I just gave up everything, guys. Just gave up everything. All that lawyer going back and forth with all that stuff, it was just too much. I didn't want to pay for everything. I was like, just take it all. I'll just take the one car and start my life over.
someone's on OnlyFans, you're seeing it in their bank account. Because unlike, Ashley Madison, they used to hide it as American Bank. OnlyFans just says straight up OnlyFans. They have no shame with their billing. So you start seeing these kind of charges and you go, all right, well, we need to do more. I got to look into this. What else have you done? Have you gone to hotels? I want to see more bank statements. Take me back 5 years.
And so this can expose more
Yeah.
infidelity in a relationship.
Yeah, and problems. So it's like, all right, now you're doing a deep dive and now you're starting to snoop through stuff and you've got some problems.
Okay.
All right, yeah, a lot to go over there, and I can.
I skipped all that process. I just said, oh, you know what? Just take it. Take the house. Take all this stuff. I just don't want to pay alimony. And she's just agreed to it. And my lawyer drafted it up. Their lawyer accepted it. Was pretty quick.
Personally relate since I've been through a divorce in a sexless marriage.
Jesus divorced? Even Jesus can't even keep a woman. Why are we trying?
My ex stopped having sex with me at some point, and it was just unclear why. But, well, actually, I found out when she was blackout drunk one night and speaking the truth. She told me she hated me, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, people stick around in that
I mean, a lot of people do hate Jesus.
stuff because of comfort. Never allow yourself to be comfortable, even if it seems like you would struggle to get away. You should anyway, because it's not good for you to deal with that for so long. But yes, divorce is insanely messy. My ex didn't even fight back, and it was a mess. Getting someone to serve her took forever because they couldn't find her for a while. And then just the back and forth and everything, and it was costs and terrible. And divorce lawyers are also terrible people.
I mean, I think Jesus and I are in agreement about lawyers.
But after that process is done with the financial assets and looking at that, is it just the man had... So after that part's done, is it the man has made 100K and the girl makes 50K, so the girl gets 25 from the man, or what?
No, then you're going to be looking at a whole complicated state-by-state calculation of, all right, how long were you married? Who paid what? Who's doing what? Who can earn?
I mean, wherever he's interviewing it, I know it's Miami, but dang, there's just so many exotic cars that have been driving by. I'm just looking at them, like, damn.
Or what? Like, so now you're looking at all the potential of that, and you're going to get a crazy calculation. And if you're married for a decent amount of time, you're going to get some spousal support.
Yep, California, again, if it's under 10 years, you pay 50% of how long you've been together. Or if it's over 10 years, guess what? Have a chance of being permanent.
If you're like, say the guy's paying all the bills, woman's at home, the guy's going to pay up. He's going to be paying a good amount, and it's going to be for, in California, if it's less than 10 years, he'll be paying half the length of the marriage.
Oh, she actually explained it.
Massachusetts, you go, you know, it goes to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. It doesn't go, it's more regulated, but just depends.
Being a divorce.
I got insanely lucky in my divorce because my ex did not fight back. I did not get screwed with alimony payments because I basically took care of that crazy biatch for years. I was married for 3 years. But thank God I didn't have to pay a dime out to that hoe.
Lawyer for 8 years. Are you for prenups or are you against them?
Prenups are amazing. I'm a big fan of prenups. When some of my friends get married, instead of giving them a blender, I give them a prenup because it's a lot more useful, and I just do it for free and set it up.
How nice.
And I know the relationships, you know what to put in there. And it's great. So prenups, and you
Hey, shout outs to you, lady.
have a roadmap, basically, of what you're going to do. You can save like $50K on average if you have a prenup, like
I need some lawyer friends.
easily. Because you already say you divide this, do this,
Some divorce lawyer friends.
do that. And you can put like, you can put future stuff in there. So vacation home, okay, I have no vacation home right now, but you put in the prenup and you can divide your vacation home, or say you have a business, divide your business a certain way. You do certain things.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that with future assets like that. I didn't know.
But if prenups are so simple, why are so many women against it?
Because they want as much as they can get, obviously.
Yep.
I mean, you're not going to go to someone and say, hey, I'll like, you want half my, like, can I give you half the amount you're supposed to get? Who would take that deal? Not many people. So it's not a very appealing thing. It's like going to someone who's ordering a sandwich and said, let me give you half the sandwich. Who's going to eat that sandwich? You want the full.
How does that even make sense? Like, you can easily tell that she's still biased in a sense, because she's seeing there, like the way the women view it is just, oh, I bought something, I should get all of it, or at least I should get, like, it doesn't even make sense.
Sandwich.
And what's the biggest
If she won't sign a prenup, boys, run the other direction. There are women that just make a living off of marrying and divorcing you for your assets. And usually the women who are most concerned about prenups are probably the kind that are looking to get something later. They know already it's probably not going to work out, or that's just a sign that it's not going to work out. Because if somebody truly loves you and is agreeable with you and you guys get along, then you should be able to be like, oh yeah, okay, this is how we're going to divide things up in the future, or not at all, because we're agreeing right here and now, we're not going to screw each other in the future. But that is like the cause of major problems in every relationship right before marriage is a prenup. They're like, no, I don't want to sign one. Why do you think we're going to get divorced? It's not assuming that anything bad is going to happen. It's protection for the future. You don't assume that you're going to die on your family, but you have life insurance to cover something if you do. You plan.
I'm covered for a significant amount. Why? Because I earn a decent amount. Because if I die, my family does not get my income. So I 10 times what my income is for my life insurance.
Ahead for safety. And it's okay to protect your assets from your spouse, because if you're someone who built a business like I did, and you acquired assets and things, then, and you had those before your marriage, or you worked super hard during your marriage and your spouse did not work very hard, and they don't deserve those things. So you should be able to protect your stuff without it causing a headache.
biggest misconception you've noticed when it comes on to divorces?
I don't think they're as taboo as they need to be. Like everyone's like, oh, it's so bad and it's like ruins your whole life. It doesn't. I think like there's a lot of times where people find their second loves, and that seems to be really amazing, and they seem so much more happier and balanced. So it shouldn't be as taboo, and that's a misconception.
Have you ever had to represent
Again, very liberal woman.
a client over multiple marriages?
Yeah, and every single time I'm
Oh,
like,
boy.
don't do it, man, don't do it. Can you get a prenup? Can you do something? And I have like multiple clients that are like, all right, here we go again. I just tell them don't do it, and they just do it. And I'm like, all right, see ya, see you soon.
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
How long have you been married?
About 5 years.
So how does your job make you view your relationship with him?
Just like more, you're looking out a little bit more. You're like, all right, I need to maybe work on things a little bit more. You see stuff that's alarming. And when you're
That's good.
dating as a divorce lawyer, it gets a little crazy, right? Because you're like, all right, let me see how he is angry. Let me see how he is when he's sad. Let me make sure I go through a major event before I commit. Let me see how it is living with this person. So you have to be more aware.
I agree, guys. You should be seeing the person that you want to marry in every single light possible. Why? Because you need to know how they act, how they interact, and how they react to a lot of these scenarios.
So would you say that mentally it still puts a strain on your relationship, or it's just as easy as like working at a 9 to 5?
Wouldn't say with the strain. I think it makes it stronger because you know what not to do. Basically, you're like, all right, if I do this, this might be a problem, because you see so many guys complain about like, my wife didn't do this, my wife didn't do that, and that bothered me. So I make sure not to do those things.
Stop getting married every time you fall in love.
Jesus is telling you, do better.
There is literally like one purpose for marriage these days. It is for tax reasons. And so
And even that, it ain't even that great of a reason.
if you really need that tax break, then you can do that. But otherwise, it's pretty pointless unless you just really want that person to take your last name, which is whatever for
That can also be done without being married.
me. My girl is not going to take my last name if we get married. I don't know if I'm going to get married again just because of what I went through the first time. So, but we have a child together, and I will stick around for sure. But don't rush into things. Too many guys fall in love in like 2 weeks, and they're already thinking about marriage. And then 6 months later, you get engaged, and you barely live together. You don't know each other. I would say that under 3 years is not long enough.
I'm with agreement with Jesus right here. I always say it, about 3-4 years worth of vetting.
Know that you can spend your life with someone, twist your finances together, share credit and bank accounts and everything. You guys rush into things all the time, and then you end up having 12 divorces and losing everything multiple times. You could avoid these things by not being stupid.
Shout outs to Jeebus, but you know me, I don't even believe in Jeebus. I love The Simpsons. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate you. Catch you guys next time.